Whether you admit it or not, you're writing for yourself. You're writing a story that you came up with, the characters that you devised, and you're assuming that someone else might be interested in it. I knew when I was very young that I wanted to write. I wasn't sure what I wanted to write. I knew I was into newspaper. We had 2 newspapers delivered every day. I loved to read the newspaper. I thought I maybe would be a sports writer for a while. But I knew I just liked to sit and write. And part of it comes from the love of reading. I don't know any writers who don't love to read and who didn't get their love and passion for the language and for storytelling from books they'd read. You're writing in newspaper work, it's all day long in the newsroom. So my outside writing was at night. I'd go home and work on books, and the first 3 I did that I had my name on, I did with another reporter, a friend of mine. They were sort of straight thrillers, but they all got published, they all did okay. And then I finally, with tourist season in 1986, decided I was going to write my own book, because the stuff I wrote was pretty twisted. You know, when you're writing with someone else and you're sort of writing in a genre, you can't do the kind of stuff that I wanted to do, say the things I wanted to say, and go after the politicians and some of the people that I was going to do it. You know, the writers are just strange and highly disturbed individuals, most of us. I was at a mystery bookstore somewhere outside of Chicago, or maybe in Wisconsin, and someone was standing in line, and he kept moving to the back of the line, and I could see that he was carrying something. He had something with him, which is never a good sign. He comes up, and he's as nice as he could be, and presents me with an oil painting, an original oil painting of a roadkill that he had done just for me, of a roadkill that he had found had occurred right outside his house, apparently. And he had thought of me because of the skink character, and I guess he had grabbed his easel and his palette and run down to the road. I never figured out what the creature was, whether it was a beaver or a marmot or whatever, because I thought it'd be rude to ask. I figured he thought I should know. But he presented this wonderful oil painting to me, and you know, again, you feel on the one hand flattered, and on the other hand alarmed. And I thanked him, and I signed a book for him, but I've never found quite the right place to hang the painting where it could be explained, you know. But the best thing about working in journalism is not just learning the discipline of writing under any conditions, wherever you happen to be, regardless of how noisy it is, regardless of whether you've got a headache or you're sick, none of that matters. You got a deadline, you're going to write or you're going to be unemployed. That's that simple. So it teaches you that when you get up on a day to write a novel and you don't, I don't feel good, my stomach's, I don't know what else, forget about it. You're going to write anyway because that's what you do, that's your job. And that's a great, you know, thing to have. You know you can do it because you've done it before. You're writing a story that you came up with, the characters that you devised, and you're assuming that someone else might be interested in it. But when it works and all of a sudden people like your books, it's also becomes the coolest job in the world.